Okay, now that we have everything started, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are tuning in today. And I do appreciate you being here. And thank you for coming to our business webinar, LinkedIn and three-way call training. So let me first give a disclaimer. This is not a life insurance training. This is a life insurance business training because you see, there's a major skill set difference between a life insurance producer and a life insurance agency builder. A life insurance producer is focused solely on writing business, writing policies, and there are many who have that skill set, and they can do it all day long, all day long. But there's a difference in writing business and building a life insurance business. And so this is what this recruiting is all about. So I wanted to give you that disclaimer today. Now, what's the primary skill to building a life insurance business? It is learning the art of recruiting. There's an art to recruiting. Why do you think the major sports teams, baseball, football, all of these different sports, they have scouts? Colleges have scouts. The NFL and the major leagues, they have scouts. Their job is to travel the country and look at players, look at pitchers, look at hitters, look at outfielders, look and find the best young athletes that they can recruit to their program. And so many of them may have been players at one time. Maybe they got up to the minor leagues, but they just did not have the ability or the talent just to move to that next level. But they could recognize talent, and they knew how to find talent, and so they utilized those skills. So the, if you're going to be an effective recruiter, you're going to have to learn the art of recruiting. Now, let's talk about the power of recruiting. You see, recruiting is a reflection of belief. To the degree that you believe in the OIC opportunity will be the degree of your success in recruiting. In our Supreme Team National Pod meeting last night, our illustrious leader, Mr. Samad, gave a presentation on buying in, what it really means to buy in. And buying in requires belief. So that to the degree that you believe in the opportunity in OIC, then that will be the degree of your success in recruiting. So why don't we recruit? Why are so many people not recruiting? Why do they shy away from recruiting? It could be that they truly don't believe in the power of the opportunity. Really, they haven't found that belief and buy-in on the power of this opportunity. Maybe we're just isolating the value of the opportunity to our own experience. Like I said, we're a sales agent. That's what we join for. And maybe that's what we have tunnel vision for. And if that's true, we're still a sales agent. We're not a business owner. But when you come to this training, it is assumed that you want to build agency, that you want to leverage the power of an agency to grow a lifetime income. Maybe it's a lack of appreciation and understanding of systems. Ladies and gentlemen, at 73 years of age, I am a believer in systems. I've been in this space over 50 years in the insurance space. And I've seen systems of every form and fashion. Some were good, not I could not say that very many of them were great. Some of them were absolutely awful. And so you need to have an appreciation for the systems that have been put in place by our founder, Mr. Suni Samad of our team, because he understood what the OIC platform offered, and he was able to uh, bring that down into systems that are proven and are duplicatable and are working every day. Maybe you're just unclear. Maybe you're brand new and you're just unclear of what's next. Maybe it's none of those reasons. So if you aren't recruiting, why not? Why aren't you recruiting? Let's talk about the power of this opportunity. What's the nature of your message? On our mastermind call earlier this morning, Mr. Samad talked about a young lady in California by the name of Brittany Carolina, a cousin to Miss Kimberly Howard and Marlena Smith, and about someone that they were on a call with, and this person said, "I don't know what you're doing, Brittany, but I want to do what you're doing." And so she has a message, a very clear message, that that our Infinite Company, we give people access to the American dream. Here in this space, in this team, we give them an opportunity to make dreams come true. We give folks an opportunity to create financial legacies, not only for themselves, but for their families and generations to come. Maybe you don't realize that we have an opportunity to establish respect of family, friends, and community. It's an opportunity to restore the lost dreams of the American people. So many people in this country have given up on ever realizing their dreams. Folks, you can realize it by bringing someone into this platform. Now, I want to talk for a minute about the power of one. In 2024, using LinkedIn, let me back up to that tagline. Mr. Samad says one agent can change your business forever. Let me give you some examples. In 2024, using LinkedIn, Mr. Samad recruited a young lady from Oakland, California by the name of Arena McCoy. She bought in, she believed it, she leveraged that same system and recruited a gentleman by the name of Brian Swisher out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Brian Swisher came from the voluntary benefits space, but he came into this platform. He worked the first year in the school market and developed expertise in that market and established credibility in that market. And he was able to go to our founder, Brad Pham, and bring the idea of incorporating the education retirement picture in with small businesses. And so coming from Colonial Life, he brought the Colonial Life folks onto our platform. And now he is the founder of our small business retirement program, one of our niche markets. He's a business director, an equity partner, and a watch earner. And ladies and gentlemen, that was one person. Mr. Samad recruited Arena McCoy. Arena McCoy leveraged this system and recruited Brian Swisher. But go back to 2023. When Mr. Samad first came on board, he didn't have a team. But you know what? He showed up in a necktie. He showed up on every platform, just like he was talking to a team. And he recruited a gentleman by the name of Caesar Paz, using three-way calling, which is what we'll teach the second part. Every day, he introduced Mr. Samad to a young lady by the name of Joanne Ryan, who introduced Bill Fegans, who introduced Natalie Hunt. And Natalie Hunt introduced Hans Augustin. Hans Augustin is in New Jersey. Hans Augustin had worked in the final expense space with Miss Natalie Hunt. And he admits that several times he just didn't answer the call because he did not want to be back in final expense, knocking on doors and trying to create a career that would be sustainable doing that and buying leads. But one day he answered, and he's glad that he did because using this system, Miss Natalie brought him in the presence of Mr. Suni Samad. That was his belief system, started right then, and he is a business director. I'm proud to say he is my business director, my business partner who I work close hand in hand with every day. And he is soon to be our next equity partner. He just earned the $50,000 watch, and he is soon to be the next equity partner. But let's go to 2024 again. Using a three-way call, Mr. Samad introduced a man by the name of Mikhail Mecki to some of our leaders, including Gabriel Gonzalez. Gabriel Gonzalez is the founder of our education retirement group. And so that solidified Mr. Mikhail Mecki's belief in this system. And so he introduced a young lady that he knew by the name of Princess Mapp. She's now a business director, but before Miss Mapp became a business director, she introduced a young lady by the name of Kim Howard. Kim Howard believed in this system. Kim Howard joined this company because she wanted to make an extra $2,000 a month, $500 a week, just to meet a mortgage payment. So that part of her obligations would be fulfilled. But she believed in it so much that she became a business director. At the end of last year, as 2025 was closing out, she became an equity partner, earned the $50,000 watch. But you know what? Miss Mapp had no problem with Kim Howard becoming a business director first, because that incentivized her and enabled her to make the run for business director, and they're both doing a great job, all because one person was recruited. So who'll be your next one? Now, this is a two-part training. The first part is recruiting with LinkedIn. Now, I'm going to open up my screen so I can see anyone that may be on the call. So some are watching from the live stream, and I'm not able to see. But this is a two-part training. The first part will deal with recruiting with LinkedIn. The second part will deal with the three-way calling system. So let's get into it. Part one, recruiting with LinkedIn. Why do we use the LinkedIn system to recruit? Well, because of something called a system. Now, I've added an S on it because one of my mentors and leaders in a previous organization, not in the insurance space, added an S. He said, we've all heard of saving yourself time, energy, and money, but it saves you a lot of stress as well. So systems. Why do we recruit with a system? Because systems duplicate for massive scalability. If you don't have a system, you really don't have a business. You have a sales job. And I've said this, and let me continue to say it. If that's why you came and that's where you feel that you want to be, then we will support you in that. We're looking for folks who are wanting to build massive organizations, who want to leverage the power of an agency to create lifetime income, so that it's not all done on my own pen and their own pen. Because you see, good systems, duplicatable systems, will favor the success of the brand new person. We have so many people who never have come into the insurance space. I'm thinking of a young man by the name of Kareed Jones, only been in this space maybe 2 months. But man, he has bought into the belief system. He's had a successful grand opening for his business. He's writing business. He's growing his business. Ladies and gentlemen, He had never been in the finance space before, but he is doing well because of our system. You see, if a system won't favor the success of the new person, then it's not going to be effective. If your business isn't growing from the bottom up, your business is dying. Because you see, you make up in numbers what you lack in skill. So systems create a whole lot more outcome for less time. I believe it's Warren Buffett who said I would rather leverage 10% of 100 people than 100% of myself. And we all know about Warren Buffett, the billionaire. So you can have more outcome with less time. So why am I training on it? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm training on it because it works. It's the reason I'm here today. It's the reason that I was given this privilege handed to me from Mr. Suni Samad to be able to teach the LinkedIn recruiting system. I know that it works. Now, think with me just a few minutes about systems. Why do systems work? With a proven system, you can remove yourself from the day-to-day of the business. But the system still keeps the business running smoothly. Without a system, I cannot say it enough. Without a system, you have no business. We're all familiar with these golden arches. I think you would be hard pressed to go anywhere in this country and in many, 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 many major countries overseas and not see some of these golden arches. But did you know that there is a building in the suburbs of Chicago called Hamburger University? It's a building where franchise owners are required to spend at least 12 to 18 months in their training program. Why do they do that? Just to learn to sell hamburgers? No, anybody can learn to do that. I mean, I could learn to sell them. I could learn the system on how to make hamburgers and teach somebody else to sell them and hand them to someone. You know, that's selling hamburgers. But they have to learn the McDonald's system because McDonald's has a system. I can look at if these sliding glass window and door shades were completely opened, I could look up and see just over the tops of the trees a McDonald's that I could walk to, which I'm not going to because part of it's uphill and I'm 73 years old, but which I could get in my car and in about 15 seconds be in the drive-through. But I'll guarantee you that that franchise owner didn't go up there just to open one location right here in this little town called Church Hill in East Tennessee, because I know that they own several. And if they didn't come back and institute the McDonald's system, then they just have another hamburger place. So look, you can go anywhere in the world and McDonald's is going to look the same because of a system. I mean, I don't know what country that is right there. I know it's an Asian country. And if I did not see the words in English up there that said order here, I wouldn't know what it says, but I know exactly what the signs up there, what the pictures are. If I couldn't read anything on it, I could point and tell them I want a Big Mac. I want some fries. I want a milkshake. Because you see, you look at that and it looks like the McDonald's right up here, basically. The system is the same. The French fry is over on is on the left. They make French fries on the left. The hamburgers are on the right. The milkshake machine is on the far right hand side. It's the system. I don't know where. I'm sure they went to McDonald's University. because they're not going to change the system for a foreign country outside the United States. It's going to be the same. So, why do we leverage LinkedIn for our recruiting? We leverage it for something called the infinite eight. If you notice that infinite sign is just an eight laid down horizontally. And our system is 8 LinkedIn invitations each day. And if you're familiar with LinkedIn at all, you know how to send an invitation to connect. That's one of the first things you learn. If you don't know how to do that, when you get onto LinkedIn, there are all kinds of free trainings that show you. I didn't have anybody to show me. I learned it on my own. You send out 8 LinkedIn invitations a day, each day, every day. Now, the infinite eight is based on 3 laws. That first law is the law of large numbers. Now, the law of large numbers is a fundamental principle in probability and statistics that states as the number of trials or observations increases, the average of the results will get closer to the expected value, which is known as true probability. For an example, if I have a coin, a quarter, say, and I want to call it heads, I want to flip it. I mean, we all know how. We've all grown up. We flipped quarters. We flipped them, as kids, and man, it took me forever to learn how to do it, and I got to where I could do it. And I mean, it's just something that comes second nature to us. But let's say if I flipped a coin, a quarter, enough times with these arthritic hands, and I had the stamina to keep flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping, then if I flipped it enough times, the number of times that it lands on heads will eventually get to 50%. That incorporates the law of large numbers enough times, and it also incorporates the law of averages. Now, that's not a formal mathematical law, but it reflects the belief. Remember what I said earlier? Belief, buying in, believing. It reflects the belief that outcomes will even out over time. If I flip it enough, and I know if I believe in it enough times to keep flipping it, it's going to eventually land on heads more times, or at least half the time, if I keep doing it. Or if I'm playing a board game or a card game and I've lost the first 2 or 3 games and I just get so frustrated I'm going to quit. But someone says, no, Stephen, don't quit. Don't quit. I mean, you've been so close. You're due for a win. That's the law of averages. And then the third law that it's based on is a law that we are familiar with in the financial industry. It's the law of compounding. I believe it was Albert Einstein who is created with saying, compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. And the law of compounding says, it says that if you invest some principal amount, then those numbers are going to, that amount is going to generate another amount, a larger amount over time, generating additional earnings. It creates exponential growth because you earn returns not only for the original amount, but on the accumulated gains as well. And ladies and gentlemen, all three are applicable on LinkedIn. If you stay true to the laws, ladies and gentlemen, the outcome will be in your favor. Now, when it comes to doing math, I can do it if I have one of these. If I don't, and you throw a large number and ask me to divide it or multiply it or figure percentage on it, I'm going to be just exactly like that boy right there trying to figure out that big old massive equation of some kind behind him. Now, my wife, on the other hand, I can start to do something on the calculator and call it out and turn before I ever get to the equals button. My wife's already got it figured out because she spent most of her career in restaurants, managing restaurants. Prior to that, being servers, and she was good. She's good at coming up with money, especially when it's the grandson asking if he can spend this or spend that. But let you and I do a little bit of math here. Now, this was me when I came into the business. I was recruited using this system by a gentleman by the name of James Clark in New Jersey. I didn't know James, but when he sent the message, like I'm going to be teaching you, when he sent that message out, then something about his profile caught my eye. Number one, he's a minister. I retired from the active pastorate in 2011. I've spent 57 years this year singing gospel music with quartets, and I'm doing that now on a full-time regular basis, and not pastoring. But he was a pastor. He's a pastor. He is a wedding officiant. I do that. I spent about 5 years managing a wedding chapel, managing wedding chapels in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, one of the destinations that many people in these parts or all over the country come to get married. And so we had that in common. And he's in the insurance space, and I had that in common. So it made me answer his message, and the rest is history. So I was taught this system by Mr. Suni Samad, and I bought into the system. And every day I do 8 invitations each day. In a week, that's 56. In a year, that's 50. In 52 weeks, in a year, that's 2,912 invitations. And I thought about it, and it's like, well, that's not bad. 3,000. I've reached out to 3,000 people if I do this in a year. But then the belief got stronger, and I got 3 recruits. So now I've taught that to them, and now there's 4 of us doing it. 8 a day, that's 32 a day, times 7 days, 224 in a week, times 52 weeks. That's 11,648 invitations. Reaching out on LinkedIn, pushing a button on a phone, or clicking a button and copying and pasting something in to LinkedIn. 11,648 in a year as compared to my single effort of almost 3,000. Now, I'm not, as I said, you can't call me a math major because that would not be true. But look, how about if you get one when I got one? And by the way, I have 10 on my, and I'm will be bringing on my 11th one, and I'm now into 2 generations, and I've done it all the same way. So now it's me and 4. Now there's 5 of us. Look at the numbers: 40 a week, uh, 40 each day, 280 a week, 14,560. How about when my team grows this big? And I have, like I say, I have intentionally not counted these. I'm not going to count them because all I think about is this one right here, or this one right here would be me on just back here, just my place in the back, putting everybody else out in the front. How many invitations will that be? I don't know, but they're infinite. You see, the infinite 8. Your 8 a day can grow into an infinite number. The infinite 8 system. Ladies and gentlemen, LinkedIn is your secret weapon because it's free and it's very duplicatable. Now, I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to go to my LinkedIn and I'm going to give a brief demonstration. And this demonstration is going to assume that you know how to use LinkedIn and you're familiar with how to send out invitations. Now, this was somebody that I have interacted with. So let me get to my home page. Here is my home page. And I do this most of the time on my telephone just because it's so much quicker. But just like any social media, you have a news feed. These are the things that they put in to your feed, kind of like the Facebook feed for you to scroll through. Here you can, this is your network, and these are notifications. You get notifications here, and just to see what people have done. Here's some people that have viewed my profile. Your post has reached 39 impressions. But let's go to my network. Now, there's two ways to do it. You can go here and click on it. I just got in the habit of clicking on my picture, and then I'm clicking on, if you once you reach 500 connections, it'll just say 500 plus. So I just click there, and here I can see all of my connections. Now, these are people who I have reached out to. I know that I've reached out to a lot of these this morning. Let me look over here. Um, okay, here we go. So here's what you do. You know how to send an invitation. You know how to send an invitation. So let me just go back uh, over here and let's look at my network here. And this is going to show you some people. It will show you people that you can look. Here's people who are hiring. I'm just scrolling down here, and then it's going to go to here's some connections of people that one of my connections, Zach Berkeley, who connected with me last night, knows. All right, so let's look right here. Here is Kim Mark, and he is a licensed insurance agent, multi-state coverage. And so the simplest way is hit the connect button. But I've learned to look at the profile because sometimes they are in Canada, especially a lot of the Experior and the GFI folks. There's some of them over in Canada, and I made the mistake of just clicking on connect from the feed before realizing they were in Canada, and I had people interested, and then I had to still let them know that we're not in Canada. So that's just a little tip. It's always good to look. It's easier to do it on your phone because it'll show you. But the way to connect, just send an invitation to connect. Now, I have the premium account. It's not required to do this. You can do this with a free account, but in another organization, not insurance related, we used it and I kept it. I got the premium just because it gave me more availability to reach out to more people. Now, I send it without a note. So that means that it's pending. So if we go back over here to the to the network, you can go over there and see. I'm not going to take the time just to go through and send a bunch of invitations. I think most people really understand the connection request. So here are some people that I connected with. These are people that I connected with. Here's one that I connected with 16 hours ago. Here's one 12 hours ago. I don't remember if I've sent them a message or not. Here it is. Here it is. So here is the message that you will send them. Hi, hi, Shaisha. Great connecting with you. I have a unique non-captive opportunity in the life insurance space, and one of our niche markets is helping teachers with retirement options. No lead buying, no cold calling. We set up district approved events to simply educate teachers and public school employees on their pensions, arrange virtual 403B and annuity appointments, and assist them with their retirement needs. These appointments also lead to an increased amount of sales in cash value life insurance. Let's chat. I'd love to go over the details. Best, Stephen Taylor. That's all I send. That's all you want to do, especially as a new person. You want to follow a system. This system works. I can guarantee you that it works. And you have to be consistent with it, but it works. So when I'm on a laptop, I just copy from a Word document and paste. So I was just copying, and I'm going to copy it here. But be very careful when you copy one that you've already sent, because when I did that and sent it, I forgot to change the name, and it kind of made me look like an old fool. So I don't want to do that. But let me see here. Connected 23 hours ago. This might be someone I could send a message to. No, I've already done that. Let's see right here. See if I've sent this to Josh. I have. You can see that I'm doing that. Let's try Monty. Monty, I've done. Let me go down here and see if I can find somebody. Chancery. I wonder if that's someone I messaged. No. Okay. So here it is. Um, this is someone who I've started doing um, some of the people not in the insurance space, just looking at their profiles. So um, what I normally do is just copy off of my desktop just this standard um, message, and I just put in her name and Chanserey. Send. Literally, you can do that in a matter of minutes. Takes a little longer on a laptop. I can literally send out 8 of these messages in a 2 minute time frame. Now, a good idea to get in the habit of is send several invitations out. What I do, just because my days are getting busier now with appointments, what I try to do is in the evening time, at night, maybe before I go to bed, I'll send out 25 or 30 invitations. And that way, that in the morning, when I wake up, there'll be enough that I'll be able to send out my 8. And literally, I can show you on my phone. It's a 2 minute time frame, because in my phone and in all iPhones, and I don't know about Androids, I'm sure there's something called text replacement. You go into your keyboard section and you're able to find text replacement. You can type in one time. You can type in this message one time, hi, space, comma, and then the rest of the message. And then I put in a trigger, a little thing that once you type it in, it will trigger the message. I use L2. That's the second one that I started using, and it's been most successful for me. So I will take my phone and, for example, Miss Chancery, I think that's the way you'd pronounce that. If I were doing it on my phone, I would call her up, open it up to the messages. I would type in L2, and immediately it would pop up that whole message. All I have to do is type in her name. That's the two-letter the trigger, L2, and the name are the only things I have to type in. Then I can hit send day after day after day after day. And I can do it all the time. So that's how you send an invitation to connect. Now, you will get in your network, you will get notifications that will say Chancery Men, Ryan Kleinschmidt, Brady McGraw, Christopher Marquez. These people have accepted your invitation to connect. So you got a notification. So now what? What do I do now, Steve? So what I will do is I will show you on one of this young man, Zach Berkeley. Okay? So Zach says, sounds good. Now, when they say sounds good, I'm going to take that as being interested. If they give me any kind of answer that way, I'm going to take it as being interested. So here's what I put. Zach, I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing and answer any questions you have. I'm in Tennessee on Eastern Time, so what's a good email, contact number, and time to connect with you this week for a quick phone call? StephenTaylor.oic@gmail.com and send it. That's all I do. Now, the more you start doing it, especially with some folks who are in the insurance space, they'll have questions like, "Who's your carrier? What's your compensation rate? Do you do this? How do you get your leads?" Do not, if you're taking notes, write those two words. Do not answer those questions. You just simply send them. If you want to put their name, you can. If you don't want to put their name, you don't have to. I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd like to give you a brief overview of what we're doing and answer any questions you have. I'm in Tennessee on Eastern Time. You can say I'm in California on Pacific Time. I'm in Central. I'm in Texas on Central Time. Wherever you are. So, what's a good email, contact number, and time to connect with you this week for a quick phone call? Put your name and your email and send it, regardless of the questions. Now, if they continue to ask, I will send a message. It is a much better opportunity. It's a much better way to communicate the things that I need to communicate with you through a phone call. So I'll put that again. So I'll leave my email and contact number here. I don't answer the questions. And literally you can just send those out. All right. Now, when they say uh, I would like to know more, then uh, then what do? I'd like to know more. You send them that message, and then they'll say, "Well, I'll be available. Uh, this is Thursday. I'll be available this evening at 7 p.m. Central Time." Well, I know that that's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So before I do anything, I'm going to establish the three-way call. Now, let me share my screen. Let me share my slides one more time, and I'm going to get to the part two of this training. All right, you've sent a connection request. They've accepted it. You've sent the initial text. "Hi, Zach. I have a unique opportunity in the life insurance space." You've sent it. They've sent back, "I would really like to know more. I'm interested." And so you they'll tell you when's a good time. They will, most of the time they will say, "I'm available in the afternoons. I'll be available in the evening," or whatever. You don't respond immediately. You want to, first of all, check your business director's schedule. I have Hans Augustin, my business director's uh, Google Calendar on my phone, in my laptop. It is available to me. Mr. Suni Samad's calendar is available to me. And so the first thing I'm going to do is look at their availability before I let them know when I'm available. I'm going to look at their availability. I will look on Hans's calendar, and I'll see that, for example, I will see that tomorrow. Let me see. Now tomorrow, this weekend is his birthday anniversary celebration, and I know I'm not going to bother him this weekend. But let's say it's another Friday. I would look and see. Oh, I see Hans is available at um, 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I will say, then I will mention to him, I'm available at 8 a.m., 1 p.m., or 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Time. Will that work for you? And if they give me a time, then I'm going to go on his calendar and I'm going to block off, hold for a three-way call so that he'll see it. And when they confirm that it is, then I'm going to finish that on my calendar and lock it in, three-way call, so Mr. Augustine will know it. So now it is 8 p.m. or whatever time, 2 p.m., whatever time. So how is the three-way call? This is when the three-way call is done. So what is a three-way call? It's a third-party system that allows any new person to have success on our platform. I was definitely not a new person to three-way calling, um, but I was a new. I was a new person because I was in a captive organization in my funeral job, selling prearranged funeral that I have done for the last 10 years, and so I had to learn a lot of systems. The first system that I learned was the recruiting system because as a captive agent, I was not allowed to write business. I bossed up what we call it. I got some business done on my grandson, and but I was not going to take a chance on leaving the wrong way. By the way, I retired from that job in at the end of December. But I knew that I could build an agency with this system. And so I've had success with it. Mr. Samad defines it this way: a three-way call is a formal introduction and a formal invitation to a formal presentation. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you now. So here it is. I don't expect you at all to see and be able to read that on the screen. If you're watching this either on the live stream or you're watching live, I can't see from my screen who's watching it with me now. But if you would like to have the scripts that I mentioned for the text and these scripts, if you will let me in the chat right now, I can't do that. So I'm sorry. Let me just back up here for a minute. Let me back up for a minute. I knew that I should not try to do two things at once as an old guy. So here's the three-way call. It is a formal introduction and a formal invitation to a formal presentation. Here's the way it goes. I've scheduled Zach for a three-way call. Now, I'm going to send him a text about 30 minutes prior just to confirm. Because some people will ghost you, believe it or not. And he says, yes, it's fine. And so at about, let's say he said, call me at 2 o'clock. At about 5 minutes, and he's in Central Time, so that'd be 5 minutes, 3 o'clock mine. So about 5 minutes till 3, about 4 minutes or 3 minutes till 3, I'm going to go ahead and call up Mr. Augustine. Now the script shows for you to get the prospect on the line first and then merge the call. But because I got used to the iOS 18 on the iPhone, it pulled up merge call as soon as as soon as you had someone, it would give that to you. When it updated to the newer versions, it hid that. You had to go to three buttons. I made a fool of myself in front of someone trying to get to merge the call. I don't do that anymore. So the first person I call is get my business director. So I get Mr. Augustine on the line. at about 2 minutes till. Then I go ahead and I will call my prospect and I basically follow the script. And so here's the way it goes. I'm on the call. Mr. Augustine is on the call. And then my prospect, Zach's on the call. Ring, ring. Hey, Zach, is now still a good time? Yes, it is. Great. Real quick, Zach, I know we spoke or texted a little bit about the opportunity, but I want to introduce you. Remember, a formal introduction. I want to introduce you to one of my business partners who I've had the privilege of working with for some time now. His name is Mr. Hans Augustine. He is in New Jersey. He's leading the national expansion of this company. He's doing some phenomenal things, Zach, on this platform. He's really a down-to-earth guy, and most importantly, Zach, he loves helping people. So what I'd like to do really quick is get him on the line so he can share with you what he shared with me when I first took a look at this opportunity. Okay? Hold on. Now, I've already got Mr. Augustine on the line because I just now that's the way I'm doing it. It's much safer for me. But I want to give him the impression that I'm calling him. So I hit mute. It creates the silence. Hold on. I don't ask him for permission. Hold on, okay? Hold on. I want to get him on the line, okay? Hold on. I don't pause. So I've got Mr. Augustine on the line. I'm back. Hey, Mr. Augustine, are you there? Yes, sir, Mr. Taylor. Awesome, awesome. Hey, Zach, are you still on the line? Yes, sir. Well, awesome, awesome. Zach, this is Mr. Hans Augustine. This is the man I was telling you about. We're fortunate to get a moment of his time. Hey, Mr. Augustine, this is Zach from LinkedIn. I mute my button. I mute my phone and Hans Augustine takes over. Now, did you notice that when I was dealing with the prospect, it's first name. When I deal with the leader, it's first and last name. You are edifying an expert. You are edifying your business director, your leader. Now, in our culture with the Supreme Team, there's no big I's and little U's. From the top down, from Mr. Suni Samad to any of the other business directors to Mr. Hans Augustine to Miss Princess Mapp to Miss Kimberly Howard, all of the people, there's no big I's or little U's. We're all teammates. But we are setting a standard for this prospect. We are showing him how we operate in our culture. And so the prospect, first name, the leader, for Mr. or Miss or Mrs. So now I'm Hans Augustine. Hey, Zach, I'm honored to be on the line with anybody that Mr. Taylor introduces me to. I promise I didn't pay him to say all those nice things about me. With that said, he's so humble that he probably didn't mention to you that he's helped expand our company as well, and he's doing some amazing things, helping a lot of people too. So I'm honored to be on the line with you. With that said, what are you currently doing for a living now, Zach? And he waits. And Zach may say something like, "Well, I'm in the Medicare space, and there's that period of time when there's not things to do, and I want to kind of fill in that gap." Or they'll say, "Well, I'm with FFL, or I'm with one of these other companies, and I am spending so much money on leads, and man, it's costing me a lot of money, and I'm having a lot of problems. I'm having a lot of problems." Hold on just for 1 second and let me answer this. All right. And they'll say something like, something like, I am just not getting the results I thought out of these leads. And I'm telling you, I'm just not making money. And so what, well, first of all, I'm backing up. I always get ahead of myself. Tell me what you're doing now. I've been working in the insurance space for a couple of years. I'm doing this or I'm doing that. So awesome, awesome, Zach. So what? I know you're a pretty good, pretty smart guy. and you're evidently doing well where you are. What's got you looking into another opportunity? This is where he finds out why, their pain point. And well, I'm working leads, or I'd like to supplement my Medicare with this, having more to do, or whatever their reason. So he's developing their pain point, what's hurting them. And then he says, well, I can definitely understand how you feel. You know what, Zach? At one point, I felt the exact same way. But I found this company, and they taught me another way to do this business. So, with that said, we're our infinite company, the people's company. We've been around for about 7 years. This script was in last year. I say every week I'm going to update it. I'm going to make myself do that right now and change these slides as soon as I'm off of this call. But we've been around for about 8 years, and we're one of the only. I had IMOs, insurance marketing organizations, or you can say FMO. But if you're talking to a brand new person, they don't know what IMO means or FMO means. They have no idea. And so I use the word company, and I'm going to put that in the script. We're one of the only companies that's doing the things we're doing in several markets. Zach, we have our niche markets, we have our natural markets, and we have agency markets. So, Zach, what I'd like to get you to do is to get you over to one of our Zoom presentations on Monday evening at whatever time in their time zone. We'll get you over to our Monday night call at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And we have a business overview that's going to be done by one of the business directors on our platform. And he does an outstanding job. He or she does an outstanding job, whoever you know who's going to do it. That way you can see for yourself and make a more informed decision as to whether what we do is a good fit for you. Does that sound fair to you? Well, yes, it does. Now, there are two calls that we can send them to. This being Thursday, I wouldn't say Monday. I don't want them to wait till Monday. We will send them to one of our team calls. I've been privileged to do the Saturday business overview for several months. Now that my gospel quartet is traveling more, I'm not going to do it as many Saturdays, and so some of the other leaders are going to be doing it. We do it on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 Central. So if it's past Monday night, what you want to do is be able to send them to this team. And what I do, if they are very, very, very interested, and I don't want to delay, what I do is I'll get them to a one-on-one, that I'll do a business presentation with them with my business director, Hans, or Mr. Samad, so that we can give them the overview, talk about next steps all in one call without having to wait 4 or 5 days. But this being Thursday, I would say I'd like to get you over to one of our Zoom presentations this Saturday at noon Central. And so whichever one, you just follow that script. Does that sound fair to you? Yes, it does. I'd be glad to. I'd look forward to it. Awesome. Well, I'm going to leave you with Mr. Taylor, and he's going to give you the link. I'll be there as well, so I'll look forward to seeing you on the Zoom. All right? Mr. Augustine, always a pleasure. Talk to you soon. That would be if it's Hans or if, I'm an old man. So he would say, Mr. Augustine would say, hey, Mr. Taylor, always a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon, Zach. Mr. Taylor will get you that link, and we'll look forward. And that's the way you do it. That is the three-way call system. Now, I apologize that I got a little ahead of myself there, but you got to forgive me because 73 years old, sometimes I get kind of excited. My belief has gone up 1,000% since last night, and the more that I see it working for me every day of the week, I just get excited when I teach this. But let me give you one final word before I close. It's 2 o'clock right on the dot, and I'll be closing in just 1 minute. With recruiting comes responsibility. You must be consistent. Don't start out doing it and then not be consistent, because you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot. I can tell you that right now. You must do it every day. Number two, respond to every person that accepts your connection. Send that first pitch to them, the first one, and make it personal. Put their name in it. Don't 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 elaborate on anything. Send that first pitch to them. Number three, reply to everyone that's interested. No matter how many questions they ask, no matter what they say, I'll leave my email and contact number here. I'd love to give you a brief overview of what we're doing, so on and so forth. Just leave it at that. Do it and leave it. You remember, if you've been in the insurance space or any sales organization, when you're getting ready to close, you remember you close and then just close your mouth. You remember, that saying, the first one that speaks wins? Well, if you're the first one that speaks, after sending that, if you try to elaborate, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the loser, because they're going to be somebody that's going to try to cross recruit you, and even with the best efforts, someone will. But we'll teach you how to do that. Send a reply to everyone that's interested. Number 4, if they say they're interested, schedule the 3-way call with your leader. Make sure you can have a leader on the phone. If your leader will not be available and you cannot get Mr. Samad, you cannot get another person, maybe a field director on your team, you reach out to me. And you can go back in some of these meetings that are recorded, my numbers there and things of that nature. But I will say, I can give you my email address, Stephen, Steven Taylor, Taylor .oic@gmail.com. Send me an email, ask if I'm available, and I'll be happy to do it with you. But schedule that 3-way call. Number 5, send them the business opportunity link. Now, you might think it ends there because you've got them going to a link. No. Number 6, follow up before. Send them a reminder 30 minutes prior. Send them a text 30 minutes prior. Hey, the business opportunity's coming up in 30 minutes. Are you finished? No. Because they're on the call. They watch the presentation. Follow up again. The fortune is in the follow-up. Do it immediately after the Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, when you work the system is going to work for you. So thank you for attending this webinar today. Thank you for being on our call. Again, my name is Stephen Taylor, coming to you from Tennessee. The time is 2:04. Thank you for your attention. We'll see you next week.